What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the PittStop. I'm your leading crew chief, Kyle Pitts.
It's a great catch. He pulls it in.
And here on the show, we'll have a great time. We'll see can our guests drive. We'll have fellowship, games. So let's put them to the test. Let's race.
Oh, I think you're in there.
How fast is fast? Really fast.
When I hit the ground, you gotta keep up. You ready? I'm flying low in the sky. You could have pulled this
Kyle Pitts here, your commanding crew chief, aspiring professional driver. Introducing some of my aspiring professional drivers. We have Chris Lindstrom and Kirk Cousins. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us on.
First, Mr. Cousins.
Yeah.
You're the talk of the town. Everybody's been eager to see you here and just happy to have you here.
I would tell you I have experienced the meaning of the term Southern hospitality because everywhere I go, people are so kind and they're just so welcoming. Welcome to Atlanta. And I don't know, I've just felt that I've been received with open arms, and it's meant a great deal, not only to me, but to my whole family. And so I want to return the favor with a really good football season. I tell people that my boys are 6 and 5, so they don't remember that Dad played in Washington.
Right.
And they'll barely remember that I played in Minnesota.
Right.
But they will remember my years with the Falcons.
That's
so
right.
I want those years to be special because those are going to be the years where they remember Dad as a pro football player.
That's awesome. Now, Chris, in my opinion, I would say you're the best guard in the NFL. Coming off the maybe not good season in terms of our wins and losses, but individually you had a great highest paid guard.
Pro Bowl
year. I mean, you've been setting the standard for guards across the league, and I just want to commend you, but also want to ask you, how has the last couple of months and coming off all of this, going to the Pro Bowl and having a good time, how was that?
Just incredibly fortunate. I think you go to the league and then you get in a building and you don't realize as a kid just getting here, like how much the atmosphere of the city and how much the atmosphere like in the building impacts you. And the atmosphere we have here is second to none. And it's really tremendous. And then led in those guys, like the culture we have in our room, like I know I got the personal awards, but to be with those guys every day is the highlight of everything. And like, this, and like they do the things like, what's your why? Like, what do you get from it? And it's just like talking, like Drew and I kind of talk about it all the time. It's like really wanting to be there for like, be at our best for you guys. Like by you guys, I mean the other 10 guys in the huddle, like, all right, you guys are depending on me. I have to be there.
You guys take that seriously.
That's like the meaning of everything. And so that's like the approach of it. And it's like this constant reflection of like, am I doing my best for everybody else?
Right.
And we have that culture right now, and that is like contagious. And so that part's like, man, it's phenomenal. And so being here with you guys, with you, with Kirk, like it's incredibly fortunate to have like incredible people.
I was blown away when first few days out on the practice field, Chris and Drew would come to me, and basically the comments or the questions or the reactions were, what can we do, Kirk, to help you?
Right.
Or there were other ways they phrased it, but basically saying, how can we make your life easier? And I thought, what a great question to ask a quarterback to make him feel really good about
guards
things.
And centers ask you
well, now that you ask. So I love that. And I think he just expressed that. But it is true in the way they've related to me. It's certainly manifested itself.
Yeah, definitely spending this time together. This camaraderie is a big thing. In the locker room, with you coming here fresh, how do you adapt into a new locker room and coming from the Minnesota culture or the Washington culture? What do you see different about us people here down in the Atlanta Falcons?
Well, there's a lot that's consistent, but I do think that's something fans may not understand is just how difficult it is to start over, and how you can't go in here guns blazing and say, all right, everybody, new sheriff in town, listen to me. So you need to observe, ask questions, listen, and understand how things operate.
Right.
And then you can kind of assimilate into the team as you observe and understand. So I'm kind of in that position right now, in that phase, and At times I want to speak up, and I think it's important that I say, hey, I want you doing this. I think we should do this. But that's not all the time.
Right.
I remember reaching out to Peyton Manning when I was on my way down here, just saying, hey, you left Indy and went to Denver. You were coming off an injury. Tell me about your experience transferring to Denver and what that was like. And one of the things he did say, even Peyton Manning said, I think there's a place for pacing yourself when it comes to how strong you are initially. You know, you're the new guy. You need to listen. You need to observe. You need to take things in. And then there will be a time where you assert yourself. But I thought that was a good word, and I've noticed that to be an important part of it as I've adjusted as well.
Now, I must say, prior to you coming here, I watched the QB1 series.
Yeah.
I watched it maybe twice or three times. You know, when it first came out.
Mr. Blank said he watched it twice too.
Yeah, when it first came out, and then we were getting. I said, let me turn this back on. Let me see what he does in his personal life. But you said something interesting. A quote by Margaret Thatcher. Can you tell us about it and the reasoning behind it? Because
I love quotes. So whenever I hear a good quote, I try to write it down or save it somewhere so that I can refer back to them. And one of my favorites is a quote by Margaret Thatcher where she said, she was the prime minister in the UK, and she said, if my critics saw me walking on water, they would say it's because I can't swim. Right. And basically the modern way of saying what Margaret Thatcher was saying is haters gonna hate.
That's
like,
a fact.
You can't win. Right. If people don't want to see you succeed, even when you succeed, they will say something.
Right.
So what I take from that is to lose sleep over it or worry about it or let it bother you or let it create negative energy for you is so meaningless. Yeah. So just move on and keep trying to walk on water and understand that that's pretty cool too.
Right.
And I've learned that very few people accomplishing something meaningful in the world are critic free.
Right.
Like if you're receiving critics, it's probably because you're doing something of worth.
They gotta find something negative to say about you.
So maybe instead of feeling like the critics are wearing you down, maybe take it as, hey, I'm at least living a life of influence and accomplishing something. So,
right.
You know, we're gonna face critics, and I think it helps to have some of those reminders from time to time when they upset you.
Now, Chris, along with having critics, and we haven't had the best couple seasons in the past couple years. How do you adjust to knowing that, you know, keeping an objective mindset and knowing our time's coming?
I think it's you put your best foot forward every single day, and like we have so much meaning. Like everybody, you know how much everybody cares, and so you know everybody's putting their best approach forward, and you're bringing guys along. And if somebody is lost, you pull them with you. And like obviously the shortcomings, like it sucks.
Right.
Like it really sucks. Like trust me, we're tired as anybody going 7-10.
Right.
Like, and what does it take? And I think it's all the small details of everything, all the stuff we're working on now. And I know Kirk, you've talked about it too. Like now is like the really good time to work on the small things, as if it's cadence to, you know, whatever it is, the different routes or protection, making sure all those things are right. And then like you always fall back on your training. And so the way I look at it is just like, there's no situation in games that you haven't seen, or if you have seen, you can immediately talk about it, you can adjust and stuff like that. But the coming up short is, you know, you keep going every single time. And like, I'm fortunate enough now, I'm heading into my 6th season here in Atlanta, and I love this organization. I love this fan base. I love the city, and I want to win. And we have some of the best fans, some of the best like atmosphere, and to have that success and to have a Super Bowl here would be the best thing in the world.
Right. This week's challenge is drag racing. We're going head-to-head against other drivers to see who's best. And you best believe I'm coming in first. Time to jump in the cockpit of our AMG Mercedes and burn some rubber.
Kyle will be in the left lane. You guys line up and you look at TJ. This is TJ in the visible vest.
You got me going against the professional first. Yo, this is great. I'm not losing though. Gonna have to figure it out.
All right, get stopped in that box. There we go. Okay, left lane will take it. So Kyle, you can go first.
They thought I was gonna lose the first one. Crazy.
First race was a bit nervous. It's kind of like running out the tunnel, right? But, I had my first competitor, the driver beside me, and they thought he was going to beat me. There's no way possible. It kind of marries up with, the first drive of the game where we're going against another opponent, and we know we got to do to go down and score. So I knew I needed to cross that finish line first.
Put your left foot, bury it in the floor on the brake, and then right foot all the way down. And watch TJ. Brake hard, brake hard, brake hard, brake hard. Oh, Thomas, you stopped a little short. I think it's Thomas in there. Kyle takes it a second time. Go ahead, Kyle.
The young grasshopper will take another win. Letting them think I have no experience with going. Go 3 for 3 again, man. Oh, I cheated it.
This guy can't help but winning. All right. You're good. Go ahead and continue. Andrew, you get a free run here.
You heard him. He said, this guy can't help but win it. Even though I did jump off sides, in my field of play, that would be a flag. But in this, I just couldn't stand the feeling of losing. And that'll be a wrap for the first session. But on to the next, where we'll have drifting on the skid pad, where we had some good times slipping and sliding. Now on to more of a off the field basis, foundations. I'm just now starting mine, the Kyle Pitts Foundation. Kirk, I know you and your wife have one, and Chris, you as well have one. Do you kind of want to get into a small little detail and tell us, the other aspiring drivers about your foundation and yours as well?
Absolutely. We believe very strongly in generosity and using football as a platform. That's really what it is. I think there are many people who are successful in life, but they don't have the platform that we have as pro football players. And so I really want to steward the platform well. And we feel our foundation is a great place from which to do that. And we want to be really generous. And as we see a need, meet it and help people who, we're trying to put wind in people's sails and make a meaningful difference with where we give. We prefer to teach someone to fish rather than just give them a fish, but we do try to be strategic with those gifts. And we've already started going into Atlanta and trying to meet with different organizations, nonprofits, and ministries to learn, where our passions align and where we can get involved. And that's part of what it means to move to a new city, is you start over too in terms of your generosity and where you want to give and where you want to partner, not just of your finances, but of your time and your energy. And so that's something that's very important to Julie and I, and we're looking forward to kind of getting to know the city of Atlanta from that standpoint.
That's cool. I like the fish line. When they teach you how to fish, don't give you the fish. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
There's something to be said for giving someone a fish, but even better would be just to teach.
If you learn how to do it now, you can teach someone else how to.
Yeah.
Chris?
I was really fortunate. My dad taught me this lesson, and it's something that's really stuck with me. And it's something like, if you ever speak to high school or something like that, I always try and say this. It's just like, as athletes, but not even professional athletes, as kids, as high school, you're an ambassador. Like, we're ambassadors of the Falcons. Like, you go somewhere, like, you're Kyle Pitts of the Falcons. You're not only Kyle Pitts, you're Kyle Pitts. Like, you're representing your family, your community, your hometown, the Florida Gators. Like, you represent all of that in every action and every single thing you do. And so that kind of sticks with me as we go, and do different things in the community. And so when I was coming out, I was involved in the community, but my agent got me into Best Buddies International. And so that works with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, providing one-on-one friendship opportunities. And it's been really incredible. And then the Falcons CR team here is, and it starts with Mr. Blank. Mr. Blank encourages us, promotes us, makes the opportunities plentiful, that when we go to do community service events, there's just, there's those sign-up sheets, right?
Right.
And so at first, you go in as a rookie, you don't really know what's going on. Like you're literally drowning in
just
information time. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then, as they're always just, hey, get involved. So you start doing, or at least this is my own experience, doing a couple events there, and then you just fall in love with it. And I know Coach Smith used to talk about this, just like you feel better going and doing those activities. Like it's something good for like the soul. And the different, if it's cancer nights, like the Dazzle and Dine event that, the Falcons do, if it's military base and stuff, and just really understanding the sacrifices that different families go through to, protect us and allow us to have these opportunities. Like you never losing sight of that. And the best part is like getting to know like you, Kirk, or Kyle, or different guys in the locker room. What are you passionate about and why? And like, there's usually a story behind the why.
Sure.
Like, and when you get to hear people's why and what they do and different things that they accomplish, it's pretty amazing thing that we're able to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's the best part about community days is at the end where you may feel a little groggy going there, but when you get there and you're in the act of doing it, it's always good. And you leave with a smile because you just see how many happy people there are that are happy to just even see you, be in arm's reach. Yeah. So for, to see those smiles is always great. But now on to a fun part of the show. I want to see, can you guys drive? Kirk Cousins is one of our aspiring drivers. Here's your commanding crew chief, Kyle Pitts, and my assistant. We have Chris Lindstrom. But while you're driving, Kirk, I need you to listen up for some rapid-fire questions.
I'm listening.
First question.
Yes, sir.
Wardrobe malfunction. Have you ever had one in the game? And if so, what was it? If not, what do you think the worst one would be?
In the pros, I've been pretty good, but in like JV year, high school, I used to wear a cup. Nobody really wears a cup anymore in football, or I don't know if they ever did, but I did.
Okay.
And the cup once fell down my leg. So I looked to the opposing sideline and just reached down my pants and grabbed the cup. I think that was the last time I ever wore a cup. I remember the offensive line looked at me like I was crazy. Like, why are you wearing a cup?
High school Kirk, cup went down his leg.
I haven't worn a cup in like 15 years.
Now he's scarred from wearing cups. Next question.
120 and it's not going to work.
Ooh, hang on.
Oh, we bang!
Oh, sorry,
got us one, ladies and gentlemen.
You need an insurance sponsor, Kyle, for this.
Yeah.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
This might be good for us. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Absolutely love pizza. I also love any kind of red meat, steaks, burgers, fillets. Love red meat. So something like that.
That's a good one.
But man, I'm a sucker for pizza and burgers.
Okay, now this is more on the comical side. What is some of the funniest trash talk from an opposing player that you've heard?
You like that. I always get you like that. Someone will sack me and run off the field and, yeah, Kirk, you like that?
Oh, so they take it's the reverse psychology.
My game with trash talk is usually to just not respond, and usually they don't get the satisfaction if you pretty much act like you're deaf.
That is correct.
And you can't hear them. They eventually just stop.
Ooh.
Okay,
I didn't love my lap due to that one crash in the wall. If not for that one crash, I felt pretty good about what I did.
2 minutes and 21. And then the last question we have is, if you're stranded on the island, who do you take and why?
From the Falcons or anybody?
Yeah, let's do teammates. Let's pick 3 teammates.
I think I got to talk to someone who I think can really survive or help me survive. So that would probably Drew Dahlman, because he's a minimalist. So he would know how to survive on minimal resources.
Yep.
He's also an engineer from Stanford, so I think that's helping me a lot.
Drew Dahlman, okay.
I think Taylor Heineke would be pretty smart and just kind of know the savvy of how to live on an island and get by.
At the minimum, he'd be a good time.
Yeah, that was a bit of a curveball.
We would have a good time with Taylor too, for sure. So those are off the top of my head, my options.
Give us one more.
I'm probably going to stick in the O-line world. I wouldn't be against Chris. I mean, be pretty smart, savvy, entertaining. He'd make fun of Drew, which is great. So honestly, like we said earlier in the podcast, he and Drew would probably constantly ask me how they can make my life better. So
Right. It'd be a great powwow
set up on an
session.
island.
And now, another aspiring driver in the pit stop.
It's like Mario Kart, man. You got to preload it.
But you
That's
have
probably
to.
what I should have done.
Ooh, see. So he watched you and then he tried to.
I think.
First question. What is one of your weirdest fan interactions in the game?
In a game?
Oh, he can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man, I can't
There
handle
goes
the
the
pressure.
front
All right, that's about as good.
headlight. Now it's a little harder to drive and talk, huh?
It's way harder. Weirdest fan interaction. This is a personal thing for me. Like, I don't like seeing my family in games. Like, I'm so locked in. I try and be a different person when I'm there. And so when I have, like, not so much family, but, like, extended family, like, jumping around trying to get my attention during the game, it, like, kind of drives me insane.
Favorite movie and why? Favorite movie.
All right. My favorite actor is Christian Bale.
Okay.
And my favorite movie would be like, I mean, that's so hard. I'm a big superhero movie guy, but like you can't put that as like your favorite movie.
Yeah.
The Prestige is my favorite.
Wow,
with
that's a
him.
good choice.
That's different.
It's just so good. Like the twist at the end, and like Christian Bale is phenomenal. I know Wolverine's in it. Is it Hugh Jackman? Like he's incredible.
Have you seen The Big Short?
Yes, loved it.
Did you like him in it?
Wow.
What's that?
You like Christian Bale in The Big
I
Short?
loved it.
147.
45
Chris,
seconds was what he beat me by.
he might have got you, but Chris, we have one more question.
I'm ready.
What is something that the people don't know about you? An interesting fact that you can tell us?
Interesting fact.
Well, obviously, you can drive fast a little bit. You beat Kirk's time by 45 seconds.
I started working for my grandfather doing like small little construction jobs when I was in like 10 years old. And so one day he had me in like, I was like 12, and he put me in the back of like this little like machine to plow like the back of the parking lot.
Yeah.
And he thought it'd be funny to go up to the cop who was just there, like come pull up on me with his lights on and like give me a hard time for being like a 10-year-old plow in the back. Dude.
Okay.
That's scary.
Yeah.
So
it
Chris
scared the
got
crap out of me.
pranked by Gramps.
Yep.
Now back to the show.
So now, a more serious part of the show, each guest will have a different topic, but these guests specifically, we've all been through some things, and adversity will be our topic. Something similar, we kind of got hurt around the same time, like around the game 10, game 11 area, and we had a season-ending injury, but yours was an Achilles. Can you tell us about how it felt? Not necessarily how it felt, like mentally how it felt, knowing like something ain't right, along with I'm okay, and how are we going to move from this?
It's tough. It's your livelihood, is your job, and when it gets taken from you, it's a scary feeling, especially with an expiring contract. And I had never had a surgery before in my life, so a lot of unknowns. I'm so grateful that it's worked out the way it has, and that I'm coming back. But at the time, you just don't know how things are going to play out.
Right.
So it was tough last fall, but you've been through a similar challenge, and we were playing golf the other day, and I noticed your scar tissue on your knee and your scar.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, and I thought, man, like what he's had to go through from an adversity standpoint, and is still fighting through. It'll make you gritty. It'll make it tough, and
learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, we both have kids. We'll have a story to tell our kids someday, and I think it'll make them tougher too. So the story's still being written, and I think that's the fun part too, is knowing that we have a great opportunity up ahead here to write the next chapter.
That's right.
And to have that injury really just be a part of the story that probably made us into a better person and player.
That's right.
Than it being like something that knocked us out.
Yeah. What is one thing, because for myself, during that time of sitting on bed rest after surgery, it's like you start to put an indent in the bed. You're sitting there, you go to therapy once a day, for the first couple days of surgery, and it's really hard. And you're just in there just mentally thinking, well, what caused this, or what could I have done better? What would you say is like a couple things you told yourself to objectively think that, you know, this happens in the sport of the game, and how did you move, you know, forward from it mentally?
Yeah, I think it's important. I first had to recognize this is my first surgery, so I'm very fortunate to have stayed healthy for as long as I did. So that's a blessing in and of itself. And then just trying to recognize, it's really helped me, is to say I'm a steward of this football career. I don't own this football career. So because I don't own it, injuries can happen.
That's a fact.
Setbacks do happen. So my job is just to be a steward. And a steward is someone who controls what they can control, but they don't worry about the things they can't control.
Right.
And that's very important for me, not just with an injury, but throughout my entire football career. Just steward it well and provide a good return on it, but only with what you can control. And we can't control the injury, but we can control our rehab and our process. And like you said, the early stages of rehab, you can't do much. Yeah. But I still tried to view those little things we could do as small wins.
Right, definitely.
Okay, I'm walking in a boot, or I'm taking this step here. And even though they were very small movements, it's still an encouragement when you're seeing
the next step. Yeah, just building off of that. And Chris, I know you didn't necessarily have a season-ending injury, but I know you got hurt. Was it your first game of your rookie year?
Yeah, rookie year, and then things throughout. I think something I'm going to take it a little bit different direction is just the mental health kind of side of things.
Yes.
You're a person outside of football. I know, like, Kirk, you're a father outside of football. I mean, you too, recently. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Like, there's real life issues, and, you know, to be a successful athlete, you always have to be, all right, the main thing's the main thing. And so there's minor distractions, right? Going out, having fun, those things, those are distractions to your production. But, like, real world, like, family issues and stuff like that impacts, like, your baseline performance. And so when I got drafted, and then my mom got diagnosed with cancer my first training camp. It was just end of training camp, got a call from her, and then told DQ and Thomas at the time. And you know, that was hard. That was a big shock to me. I didn't have cancer really in my family, and just impacting the day to that. But then you know, played my rookie year. My second year, she's going through treatment, and then it turns out that blanking on the word, but it's not going away. And doing, you know, a year of seeing her go through her journey and her battle against cancer, and, like, watching, you know, the fight that she puts on every single day, it really put in perspective the issues that, like, yeah, I'm tired, I'm sore, but, like, you know, there's people going through worse things. So it's like that part was hard, but then the thing that gets you through it is the people in the locker room. Like, the people, like,
coming to work,
friends like you every single day, like, putting a smile on your face and stuff like that. And so that's one of the things. And I know, you know, there's really been some phenomenal examples of guys who have championed mental health across the NFL and throughout, but it's something to, you know, you have guys dealing with real world, you know, issues and stuff like that too, that come up.
Yeah, definitely outside the building, people don't know what's going on in your personal life. You just know you to come to work and have you know, catch a ball or block somebody. Yeah. But when you leave these confines of these buildings, you deal with regular life.
Yeah.
You know, people, believe it or not, some people don't think. They think we just do this all day.
But the cool thing too is, like, they talk about, like, being a pro, right? And, like, we have a responsibility, and, like, you have a responsibility, like, to me, to all the teammates, to yourself. Like, you know, I got to be at my best. Like, I got to be performing and stuff like that. And so that's the cool thing that you get to see guys do. And I know you guys coming through injury rehab, it's like you guys are putting in all that work to be at your best and to, you know, be there for your teammates and stuff like that. And you know, how you feel sometimes isn't, you know, the baseline. That's why you have such fortunate people in the building that know you and care about you, and, like, hey, if you're having a bad day, they know you're having a bad day, but they also know how to make your day better.
Right. So. Yeah, make you laugh, give them a hug or something. But it's great to see, you know, like how you said, just adversity, knowing that other people are going through harder things. And while you may be dealing with, like, a nick of a hamstring, someone's going through with something more serious. And adversity is the topic, but, you know, like how you said, the mental health part of getting over that. And, like, for you, Kirk, just taking those small wins, because, you know, like how you said, I dealt with the same thing. So like, you know, you get out the bed, then it's okay, now I'm on crutches. Right. Now I can get my brace off. And then, you know, we can start walking on a treadmill. Like those small wins, even though it seems so far, it amounts to something greater. And then when you look back at it, you're like, man, that meant a lot, you know?
No doubt.
So that was I appreciate that, definitely, your side of it. And to wrap it up, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
My new aspiring professional drivers. I hope you guys times beat the other guests. And
let's go.
Hopefully at the end of the season, whenever we finish filming, we'll have the best time and we'll see who has the best time.
I look forward to the next pit stop I get to make, and hopefully we win a lot of games, which means we can have more of these.
That's a fact. The next one that we'll have Kirk on will be after we win the division.
He's gonna have. I'm
manifesting it.
Yeah,
the next one.
I'm sure
the next one won't be Kirk. It'll be Kirk on chains. Too. You know, we'll have him in some fun things.
We got to earn the right to do that.
That is a fact. We got to win some games. We got to win some games and have fun on those away game homes. So,
no doubt.
Like I said, I appreciate you fellas. And
all right.
Appreciate it, Kyle.